What's up? What's up? What's up? Hello, traders. Wah, Kwan. What's up? What's up, guys? What's up? What's up? Smash the like button for the YouTube. YouTube is really okay, but we're gonna talk about all that stuff, guys. Make sure you smash the like button. Smash the like. That's festive, guys. No, I'm not Mr. Scam Exposer. Mr. Scam Exposer is on the other side. I'll show you. I can't play it. Listening to that, I can show you, but you can't hear. Because once you hear, okay, let me put this thing off. Okay, what's up? 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 Okay, let me just get the winning team out here. Thank you. So you guys can actually look at the winning team while I talk about the losing team. But I want you to talk about that, right? So I'm just here to see if there was any questions. Yeah, December mood activated. Yes, yes, yes. So as you guys know, right, whenever I make videos, I get a lot of comments, right? Like there's a lot of comments. Sometimes I read the comments when I do make the video. I will read through it, and I don't get to go through all the comments, you see. So it's good to get some of the questions here. Siva Hauser. So it's good to get some of those questions sorted out here before I get to do my actual work, right? Like, do the actual work that I normally do. So it's good to hear if you guys have any questions, before we proceed with what it is that we are going to discuss. But in any case, I hope you guys had a very beautiful weekend, and I hope things are looking good on your side, and I hope you're ready for the market this week in particular. I am due to make the market breakdown. I've been working out this entire morning, and I'll probably get to it as soon as I'm done with this live, because it is Monday. I think maybe, just maybe, to just do this Q&As more often. But you guys must also remember, do you know what now? I have done, YouTube has, where's YouTube? YouTube has attempted to strike this channel twice in a single month. In 1 month, twice, not once, twice. For breaking the terms of services, which was not right, which was a big mistake from their side, because they have an automated system that flags these things down, right? It flags certain things. That's what I believe. It flags certain things down, and 2 of my videos got flagged and they wanted to strike me for both. But I'll tell you what the thing is, right? So we were able to go through the terms of services, right? So I understand YouTube's terms of services. So we always make sure that whatever videos is being made or drafted, that we stay within the guidelines, right? So what we did was we drafted 2 emails, replied to, appealed both videos. Both videos was saying, they were saying, sorry, we made a mistake. We're going to reinstate the video. You see, the problem is that sometimes even if the video gets reinstated, the damage is already done because you've already, do you guys understand? Like it's like saying that it's like accusing somebody of saying something and then going on to, and then later on say, what, I'm sorry, but we didn't mean it like that. Kind of like that situation. So that is what happened also throughout November. Just a big update on that. That's why I think 2 of the videos disappeared and then they came back again. But that was because of that whole situation. You understand? But you obviously grow through, and you understand more on how they operate. The more they eat you, like the more they eat you. Any case, let me get through this questions here. Is it really true that trading in December is not? I just want to confirm. So the reason why people say that you shouldn't trade throughout December, because a lot of these big institutions, as far as I know, they go on holiday, right? So the liquidity in the market's very low, and that's the main reason. That's kind of the main reason. But there is days like after Christmas, where the volatility is quite high, especially on things like the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, because the Nasdaq is a composite that where the top 100 tech companies they are listed on. So throughout that holiday period, that festive period, sales for companies like Amazon, Apple, and those top tech companies are generally high. So the liquidity or the volume in the market tends to be very high for the stock market. But as far as currency pairs, it tends to be very low. Like the volume tends to be very low, because remember, although the market is some system that's running out there somewhere, we have to understand that there's also people that works on it, and there's people also take a break every now and then. And that's only as far as I know, right? That's only based on my own experience, and based on what I read so far. Is which target is your payout calculated from? I don't know. I just want to know how prop firms operate in terms of payout on a 2-step account. You can have 10% target on the first phase, maybe 6% of the second. So a prop firm account is divided into 3 percentages in terms of the way it's split, right? The first one, especially if you're referring to a 2-step. So the first one is the step 1 percentage, which is generally a 10%, and I'm just going to make this for the example of the video, right? Or we're going to say 8%, right? The first percentage, which is the target, is what you require of 8%. That will get you to phase 2. Once you've hit phase 2, you will then get another target, which will be 5%, right? Once you've hit the 5%, there's another percent that's allocated to what you can lose on a live account, but there's no target in terms of what you need to make in terms of profit. Now, a lot of prop firms, they've got different splits. Some prop firms offer 90% split, some prop firms offer 85% split. So what that basically means is that if you have a $10,000 account, and on the $10,000 account you make $1,000 in profit, you will get 85% of the $1,000, which is $850, and the 50% goes to the prop firm. So that's kind of how it works. So every account has got a percentage to mitigate the risk, and then there's a percentage in terms of profit allocation versus what you get and what the prop firm gets, right? So I hope that answers the question. Um, so what I want to know is from which target is your payout calculated from? It's calculated from the overall profit that you've made on the account. So like I've explained to you now, right? So I hope that makes sense. I have a question. Please give us the main pairs you trade, and if you have time, can you go through the why and how you select your trading pairs? So I've mentioned that in many videos. So I normally trade major currency pairs, and that is all correlated with the dollar index, right? Because I normally track the dollar index in terms of fundamental information, which makes it a lot easier for me to do breakdowns or to understand how the index moves in general. Although I always tell people that you cannot always guarantee, or you cannot always guarantee is, I think that's the word, people exactly which way the market is potentially going to go. So the way I select these pairs is I trade the same currency pairs throughout the entire year. It's the same stuff, GU, EU, the index. You know, sometimes I'll look at USD CAD because of the oil correlation with the Canadian dollar, or sometimes I will look at the Japan yen, but I won't. I'm not a big fan of trading the Japan yen against the index. I'm also not a fan of trading the Nasdaq. Also not a fan of trading metals like gold or silver or platinum, or trade commodities like oil. So I prefer to stick to you know, to GU, EU, because it's very easy for me to track them, because I'm very much focused. I probably know more about the US market than people living in the US. You understand? Like, that's how that's it. It makes it easier to trade when you have this, you know, when you sit like this and you just look at this small piece here in front of you. So you just see this here. So one thing I can tell you is that I've been in many signal groups, right? I've been in many signal groups when I've done signal reviews. Within that signal groups, you'll get one guy, he will send you 5 to 10 signals from different currency pairs. Most of these currency pairs, they are even negatively correlated, right? But the overall bias of that signal will be the same direction. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it gets confusing when you trade GBP NZD, you say buy, then you say Euro NZD, sell. So you have all of these currency pairs. So where for me it makes it easier tracking the index and the strength of the dollar index, and I can determine whether I want to purchase anything trading against the index or whether I want to sell anything trading against the index. Because in order to understand the overall direction of any currency pair that you are trading, you have to understand how you have to understand the overall direction of the index for any currency that you're trading. And you might not know this, but for every currency, for GBP, the euro, the Canadian dollar, for the New Zealand dollar, for whatever currency there is, there's an index for everything that you can track. So if you like the euro pairs, there's an index for the euro that you can track also. And just like the Nasdaq is the Nasdaq is a composite of the index. You have DAX, or the German 30, which is which I believe goes on the euro as well. But a lot of people don't track this. Like, people who trade gold will never track how well the dollar is doing. They will look at the price action on the index. So sorry, they will look at the price action for the metal, and then determine which way they think it's more like now. Gold's probably more of a buy than it is of a sell, right? Because it would make no sense for anybody to sell, because the sell just looks very like, if I look at this, the sell just looks very obvious. Just look like an obvious sell. This look like an obvious sell. And the whole point of the market is to get retail traders out of it. And that's where you need to learn retail sentiment also. What are retail trader positions in the market? And you'll probably find that a lot of retail traders are holding sell positions because it looks like a perfect sell, but it's more of a buy because the sell just looks very obvious. If you look at this chart, you'll think that, but this looks like a sell. This looks like a clear sell, and but I think I can see this. I think maybe this is a buy. I think it's a buy because I don't think the market's gonna make it that obvious for you. You understand? So that's it. Any case, let me go with you on GU and EU. Sure, bro. Understood. Thanks. Visca Al Barça. Yes. Do you ever trade the S&P 500? No, I do not trade the S&P 500. I do not trade any like they would say in South Africa. I don't trade indices, and then they would call they would call those they call them indices, and then they call those synthetic indices, which is the VIX 75 and VIX. So I used to trade all that stuff, guys. I used to trade all of them, everything. If you want to see, go back to one of the first YouTube videos that I've made. You will see I used to trade, but it gets so confusing over time because why you have USD CAD, and then you've got a AUD CAD, then you've got a CAD JPY, and you're looking to trade all three of them, only to realize that the correlation between the three might be very high. So when you're going to lose on so if you're wrong on the one, you by definition, you're wrong on all the others that you've taken as well. And this is the reason why I say that you have to stay away from signal groups, because there's still signal groups operating. You have to stay away from signal groups who sends out a lot of signals at once, because why? Sometimes they would be sending out signals of currency pairs that correlates against one another at a very high percent, and then that means if your one stop loss had hit, there's 100% guarantee that the rest of it has hit as well. So you have to be there's so many things that a lot of people need to learn about trading and currency correlations, retail sentiment, order flow data that you can learn to read to help understand these positions in the market. There's a lot of things that go into trading, but for me, if you are lazy, you can flip a coin and just trade price action, because that can, that would solve the problem for you also. Did you ever try? Yes, I used to trade the S&P 500, and I used to trade all of the stuff that I'm telling you now that I don't trade. You understand? I also used to trade too many things at once, but I changed that. Yes. See, if you trade too many things, the only reason why I'm adding these other things to the watch list, like the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, the only reason why I'm adding these things is because there's somebody out there with a negative trade history for the past 2 years who believe that they have to trade gold. There's somebody out there with a negative trade history for the past 4 or 5 years that believe they need to continue trading the NASDAQ because it's an easy way to make money, but it's also an easy way to lose money. You understand? And the NASDAQ can be very volatile at times, and at the times where it is very volatile, it can wipe you out completely, or it can make you a lot of money easily also. But the thing is, now you ask yourself, am I willing to take the risk for the reward? Now, if you still live at home with your mother, or you don't have, or you have a good, decent job that earns a lot of money, then you can go ahead and you can do that. Some of us can't do that. I can't do that. I make between 2,000 to 5,000 a month through YouTube ad revenue. And I've shown you guys that many times. This month, YouTube is going to pay out 2,200 Rand for last month's work. I want you to think about it. 2,200 Rand is what YouTube is going to pay out for this YouTube channel for all the work that was done last month. 2,200. This jacket that I'm wearing cost double the price of what YouTube is going to pay out. So I'm not in a position to play inky pinky ponky on the charts and then say I made it when I was just gambling my way through. You understand? I can't play that game, you know. So I must understand. I have to play it a little bit safe, but I also need to make sure that I at least, you know, I make enough money so that people don't tell me you are a hater. So that's it. Any case, thank you for the breakdown. So basically, you would trade AUD CAD because of 100%. Yes, it's not obvious to everyone. Experience makes it look easier as well. Have you heard of? No, I've not heard of them. Rolio, I haven't received my prop from account yet, and I sent you the email. When did you send the email? If you've sent, and I want you to tell me when you've sent the email. If you've sent the email over the weekend or today, then you will have to wait because the day just started and I don't work over weekends other than making a video. Because I'm sure you'll also have a weekend where you just enjoy yourself, right? I'm sure you are. Like, you don't want people to send you emails on a weekend and say, hey, my brother, can you please, no. Okay, so when did you send the email? Was the email sent today or over the weekend? That's all I want to know. You know, and then we take it from there, because you guys must be, you know, it's called calma. You must be calm. A lot of people are very quick to get accounts, and then the next day the account is gone. Rolio, can you please range from what you make from trading? So look, I'm gonna be 100% honest, right? So I do not make Top Trader podcast interview money. You know those people who go on there who say, you know, I make a 30K per month, and that I do not make. That's not the kind of money I make. I don't make that money. That's all I can tell you. I do not make the type of money that people post on social media. Nowhere close. Nowhere, not even close. You see, the way I've positioned myself is that my overall debt, right? My debt ceiling is very low. So my debt is somewhere around here. It's very, very low. It's very low. It's very sustainable. That is what I will tell you. So I do not need a lot of money to sustain my life. And I'm not the type of guy that likes to show off material things to prove to people that I have money. So I don't need money to book myself into a hotel. You understand? I would rather buy, not Mind's Eye, that's a bad game. I would rather spend 1,500 Rand buying a game than to rent a hotel to take photos and show people I've been in a hotel. I would rather spend money buying, some creatine. Well, this is pre-workout, but some pre-workout, then go to Spur, order food, tell the food to smile, I want to take a photo because I need to post it on social media. I'm not about that life, but the thing is like this: when you manage your debt very good, then your income doesn't need to be here in order to sustain your life. Do you understand? So that's how I work. You know, I scraped. So when I was working, when I had a full-time job, that is what I did before I decided to do for Forex, right? To focus on Forex, is because it was to scrape the debt down to the floor as low as I can. And that is what I would tell everybody to do. If you ever want to consider trading full time, your biggest thing, your biggest problem that you'll have is is the debt that you have to pay. You have to pay a lot of debt, which is why you save that debt off first. You know, you save it off, you save it off, you save it off until it's the bare minimum. Because if you pursue a if you pursue a journey in forex trading, if you blow, the bank is not gonna ask, hey, did you make any money in forex? They want the money for the bond. So you can always ask your friend, hey, can you borrow me 1,000? Because that's all I need to pay for my account. What do you think about 1 to 2 risk per trade? In my opinion, for a big account, it's good, but for a small account, yeah. So like I've made the video, right? So I've made a video on that. I always say that, I understand what you're saying, because you'd be risking 1% on, let's say, $100 account. So it's not a lot of money, right? So you'd probably stop out very quickly. With bigger accounts, 1% makes a lot more sense to risk, because it's just a bigger account overall. But you have to also remember one thing: the risk remains the same regardless of the account size, and you need to be able to manage that. Passing a $5,000 account is the same as passing a $10,000 account, and it's the same as passing a $100,000 account. The overall risk appetite stays the same. The only thing is the numbers looks different, right? So now you're looking at a $100,000 account, you think to yourself, whoa, 1% risk there is $1,000. On a $500 account, a $5,000 account, it's just the numbers that changes, but the overall risk, it looks the same. It's the same risk, and people must understand that just because you've got a big account, that doesn't mean you now need to guess the lot size and be like me, who trade 6 lots on GU. Like the overall risk it depends on, but regardless of if you reduce the risk on the account, it makes sense why you wouldn't risk a smaller amount on a small account. But the thing is like this: the risk needs to be consistent overall, because why? And your risk needs to be calculated all the time. I know people don't want to hear this, but your risk needs to be calculated. After every trade, you have to recalculate your risk. A 1% on a $100 account is not going to be the same as a 1% on a $90 account, because you just lost $10 on the trade. So because you're trading a 0.10 on this account, it doesn't mean you can now trade a 0.10 even if your stop loss had hit. No, the risk now changes. Now you must reduce that. But you see, it's a long-term situation, and people do not want that. People don't want that. People would like, what is the quickest way that I can make this? What is the quickest way that I can make this money? You understand? And I don't have the answer for that. I don't have the answer for that, unfortunately. I can't answer that. So I'm not here to tell people anything about that. Also, I hope you're how's it? Do you invest in caps? No, I don't. Do you trade yes, I also trade a prop firm account, right? So I'm trading a 2-step, because I prefer trading the 2 steps as opposed to the instant accounts, because the instant accounts, those rules I cannot live with. I'm sorry, but I can't live with rules on instant accounts, because it's nice to look at that you are instantly funded, but if you can't even pass a 2-step or 1-step account, then there's no way for you to manage a real account. You understand what I'm saying? So that's it. Oh, Derek Gwen Plakis, I hope I can win the account. I've been following you for months, but I've never won. You know what? No, I would love to just give these accounts away. No, the thing about these accounts is I can show you the conversation with the person who's giving these accounts away. For every account that I give away, this person wants me to send the video, because I cannot just give the account They want to see that the account giveaway belongs to the person. I'm gonna show you now. I'm gonna screenshot the conversation, and then I'll tell you, and then I will show you just so that you can see, uh, just so that you guys can see, because I get a lot of people that will ask me, can you please give me an account? And I would say, uh, it's not how it works. Even if it worked like that, I would be giving myself accounts also. But unfortunately, we have to send the videos through for every account. You see here, you can see they say, can can you also send the video, please? I don't know why it's stopping me. Okay, I don't know if you saw that now. There. Can you also send the video? Then I send him the video. You see? So when I, yay! So when I select the winner, two winners, right? We send through the information, and they say, where's the video where you have selected the people? We want to see my face, the winner's face, like that, you know? So they want to see that, because why? I can sell these accounts. You know, I can start selling them for cheap, but you know, like I said, I would, if I could just give it away, I would just give it away. But these people want to see that you have selected a winner, and this winner correlates with that person that you have selected there, so that the accounts just doesn't get handed out for free, right? 6 lots on Geo makes sense because currency pairs is no, it's because I was testing a prop firm who said they've got very low spreads. So I got a trial account. I signed up for a trial account because I wanted to see the spreads, and I took 6 lots on GU. The email was sent on Friday. I'll be paying somebody who was curious if it's an instant or begin the challenge. No, it's a 2-step account. And if you send the email on Friday, I will reply to the email today, or we've already replied to the email and you've sent another email, so now you probably expected us to reply to the email again over the weekend. You guys must learn to be patient. If you send an email on Friday, there's a high possibility that you'll get a reply on Monday throughout the day. But we reply to all emails, we issue all accounts to all winners, but people must learn to be patient. That's why the accounts go so quick when they get it, because there's no patience, nothing. They just go, get the account, go there, they blow it, no problems. Is trading, there's nothing about making quick money as well. Exactly. There's no such thing. And the more you educate people on this, the more people think that you don't know what you're talking about. And that is why I tell people, somebody reached out to me and he asked me, what do I think about a particular trader, because he wanted to buy his course. And I said, look, I am not going to comment on the person. I would advise you to go do some research, put their name in Google, put it on Facebook, and see what the reviewers say about them. Then his response was that, oh, okay, because he seems like a legitimate person. And I said, that's the problem. People, you can't judge someone by the way they look and assume that they are able to perform a task purely because they look like they can do it, right? I mean, look at look at what's that doctor's name on TikTok that was wearing a doctor's outfit? Like, I mean, you're not going to let somebody perform medical work on you just because they're wearing and they've got I don't know what they call these things, but it doesn't work like that. You cannot assume somebody can do the job. You know, you will quickly know whether someone can trade or not if you've got some trading experience and you ask that person a simple question, and the way they answer the question is you can kind of gauge, didn't praat weer kak, of no, this guy, he knows what he's talking about. You understand? So that's kind of the vibes. That's kind of where you want to get into. And that is what I said to him. If you don't know, if you can't gauge whether somebody can trade or not, just go on Google. Somebody has already complained about them somewhere. You will find something and you can decide whether or not you want to do it. All right, 25% consistency rule. Yeah, it's all about risk. Would you recommend funded next? Look, those guys I used way back in the days, right? But nowadays I prefer people or to use companies that I'm a lot closer to, because it's like YouTube. With YouTube, if you have a problem, you can't pick up the phone and call the CEO and say, yo, I have a problem, can you help me? But with people that you are working with or closely associated with, it's much easier to reach out and say, yo, you know what? When FTMO came out, they were one of the, the big companies at that time. But there's a lot of companies who came out afterwards who established a well name for themselves as well. Is your only income? Yes, it is. And also, like I said, in income, yes, and YouTube ad revenue. But most of the time, the ad revenue goes towards paying this one guy that works with me. And sometimes when there's a little bit more research that needs to be done, then there's a script writer. But nowadays, you guys also might have seen that. And then there is also subscription services that needs to be paid for tools that we use, right? But also, I haven't been editing these videos too much lately. Any case, yeah, if you consider starting, I use only. Okay, cool. Rolio, would you consider starting your own prop firm? No, I would never do it. I wouldn't do, never, ever, 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 ever do that. It's not in my nature to do that. What I would do is next year, like I said in that one video, right? I might be looking at putting something together. And then because a lot of people, even through Instagram, on Facebook, and all of that cuck, would normally DM me, ask me, yo bro, how do we learn from you? And do you have a course or anything like that? So next year, I know I say this every year, but if I can find time next year before GTA 6 release, I might put out something at a very reduced cost for people to go and learn from the way I trade. Because why? Everything is already on YouTube. If you do not want to do it that way, you can always just watch the stuff for free on here. Also, but it's mostly aimed at people that says, we just want to learn what the way you do things, and that's it. Why does it say can't open camera? I see. How long do you study for your RE5? How beneficial has it been for you? RE5, bro, probably like a year. I failed 9 times, passed it the 10th time. For me, it's good to have. It's like a matric certificate, It's good to have. You are gonna need it somewhere along the line. You just don't know when. It's more like that. I don't want to call it a matric certificate, but it's more like that. Can I sign up for a course? I don't have a course, my brother. What account sizes is it? $15,000. What's it, brother, that want to buy a course? I'll give him a PDF for free. That'll teach him more. Do you have to, but you see, people prefer to be taught from somebody. They want direct from somebody. You can give them a course like the set and forget, right? Which I have. Can show you. Got the set and forget. 25,000 rand. It's a lot of money to buy for something and you still don't have a Bugatti. But people would rather, you can give it to somebody and say, there you go. There's the set and forget, right? But they would still choose to rather pay FXLXG $1,500 because they want that interaction, that They feel better knowing that I got it from him. I got it from him. Do you have trades running now? No, my brother. No, my brother. Today is Monday. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Who's got trades running this time of the day? On a Monday. On a Monday. The people in USA is still sleeping. Are they still sleeping? Anyway, can send you the PDF, then you can just look there if there's anything. You can send it, my brother. But the thing is, people must understand, I don't want to make commitments and so I'm going to read through it. Yes, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You can send it through. If I get time, I will do it. Maybe in the week, maybe next week, maybe the weekend, I don't know. You can send it. I don't mind. I do not want to make any commitments and say that no, it's fine, I will go through it today, because a lot of people who will send us emails think that their emails is the only one we received for the entire month. Like, I think that's what people think when they send an email. They think like, your email is the only email that has come. We have no emails. People think I sit here and do nothing. It's like, he has only received my email and I need him to reply right now to my email. I have just sent him, somebody will scam me. I expect that video to be out tomorrow. That is what people think, but it doesn't work like that. There's a lot of emails before, most of the time, there's a lot of emails of a lot of people complaining about a lot of people. So you're trying to mix the content between scam exposing with some education in it. All of it. All of it. You want to do all of these things. All of it, you try to do all of it. You see? Next year you will be... I want to do trading full time. I don't have any debt and no job, but I'm making money from the market every month. Yeah, but then you are already doing it. But then you're already trading full time. It's 5:03 New York time right now, so yeah, they're still sleeping. Yeah, you see, that people is still sleeping, my brother. You can't be running trades this time of the morning. We are still here. We are still busy here. No stress. And if you see value, you can show these people that if you need to pay. No, 100%, my brother. You can send it through. But I want you to know also, how can I get in contact with you? You can get my email address is at the end of every video. When I select the winners, the email address is there. You will see you can just drop an email on there. Next year you will be starting one-on-one. No, I don't do one-on-ones. What I'll do is, right? What I'll do is, so this is the idea, right? This is the idea. Should I make the subject for you? You can just say, the trading PDF. So this is the idea, right? So I'm going to basically break up the, in what I'm attempting to do, right? So there's normally 4 things that we look at, or that I look at. And now I'm getting hot because I was downstairs, and downstairs I've got an aircon, and that aircon is blowing everything ice cold downstairs. Here I'm getting warm and cold. I don't know, but in any case, so I'll give you an idea of what I'm thinking about doing, right? So what I want to do is split all 4, right? So do a full breakdown on technical analysis, do a full breakdown on fundamental analysis, do a full breakdown on 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 retail sentiment and do a full breakdown on order flow data, right? So that will be broken into four places. Then I'm thinking about publishing over and above the weekly market breakdowns, also daily trade setups within a group that will be opened or created via the uh, through a certain group, you know. But before you start any of these things, you have to make sure that the time aligns. You, my friend, you, my friend, how are you? I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Did you miss anything? No, we are just talking about life in general. Shit, no stress. If you say, oh shit, how can I? Oh shit, oh shit. What should I make? So oh shit, you use price action strategy, right? No, what you see is a simplified way of what I'm doing, right? So what you guys see is a very easy way of what I do. I do a lot of reading before I do weekly market breakdowns or before I even enter into the market. What you see is a very, very easy version. If I have to make a full video, it will probably be an hour long on a market breakdown video. So I do it very, very simplistic for people to watch. It's a very watchable video. But if you have to sit next to me and I have to speak you through everything that I go through, then you'll understand. You will see that I can do these breakdowns, market breakdowns, I can do them in 5 minutes. I can do a complete breakdown of any currency pair for you in a single minute. You understand? That is how quick I can read price action in the market. But to add a confluence to that, it requires a lot of reading. You know, it requires a lot. You see, I can look at charts, my brother. I can just look at a chart and I can tell you, this is where I think it might go. You know, I can just look at it. Just look at it and say, this is where I think it might go. You know, but I'm not gonna just take a trade. I'm obviously gonna have to do some other things before I just get into the trade. You understand? Do you have any real stress? You look very comfortable with me. No, my brother, I don't stress. See, I reduce, I don't stress. I run 60 minutes every day on a treadmill that's downstairs. I work out upstairs. I play GTA online downstairs. I am very health conscious. I don't eat very healthy, but I do a lot of health conscious things like exercise, drink a lot of water, I get a lot of sleep. You understand? A lot of people's stress comes from finances, nothing else. Maybe if you're married, then maybe you get stress from your wife also. Because now you have a wife, you've got kids, you got all of that stuff, you must not worry that gets included into your finances, right? So, yeah. Oh, we are breaking down the market. I get it. Hi, Rolio. Sadrak, how's it, my brother? You know what most people get wrong as mentors is the fact that they forget where they were when they needed someone to start from the very beginning. 100%. Where do you read from? So I saw news-related events from all over the internet. You see, some people, they want you to pay maybe. BBC says you need to pay us, you know. So I will always look at the news events, read upon it. Some people has got some very good predictions on certain platforms. But there's a lot of things, you know. It's like there's a lot of work that needs to be done in between before you can actually make a trading decision, right? You can't just make the decision purely based off you feel that I think it's going this way. So that is what I'm trying to do. You know, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So when I had a mentorship way back in the days, I used to publish daily market breakdowns every day, every day, every day. I used to publish them and have people follow the rules for the entry in the way to take those trades also. So you will see there's a lot of things that you need to learn still before you get there. Bro, do you ever go on holiday? You know people, you're always making videos for the people. Um, so when you talk about holiday, what is that? Is it the I don't know what that sound is. Hopefully it doesn't burn down. Do I ever go on? No, 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 no. I don't go on holiday. Holiday. No, I don't do that. But I do take a break every now and then. You know, sometimes on the days that I don't make videos, I do take a break. Like weekends sometimes. And I was gonna do the weekly market breakdown last night, but I fell asleep. So I decided to not do it. But on holiday, I don't go on holiday. I go out, yeah, on a weekend or so. But I don't go on holiday. But next year, God forbid, is it God forbid? Or God something? I know. That will go. I'm going to Spain to go watch Barcelona. Live. But it must be an easy team where I know they will win. Can't fly so far, then they lose when I get there. First time I'm watching your videos live, always watching after hours. Welcome, my brother. Quick reading, unlike ICT, we yaps for 2 hours before doing. Yes, what do you think about Baby Pubs? Baby Pubs is one of the most reliable, informational, fruitful, sourceful, educational platforms that you will ever find in the world. Ever. They are the best, they are the most recommended platform I would send anybody to who wants to learn how to trade from the beginning. From the beginning. What is a pub? What is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? What is this? What? On Baby Pubs, you can find them all for free there. So you need to get some breaks. I do take a break. You know, on Friday evenings. I don't know if you guys consider this a break, but on Friday evenings, you know, I'm playing, you know, GTA Online. I was playing GTA Online Friday until 2 o'clock in the morning. The only reason why I was still awake at 2 o'clock in the morning is because I was drinking a Red Bull, and I haven't had Red Bull in a very long time, so I couldn't sleep. And then when I woke up, I was laying on the couch. And then I was like, nah, I'm just gonna stay here one time. I did everything ICT had to offer, yes. I learned a lot, but did not find my model. But once I looked at, I almost said LGBTQ. Well, once I looked at this logo, everything was hidden in plain sight. Now my trading is exploding. Well, then you should be trading, my brother. If you are, you know, you should be laying in Zanzibar. If your trading is exploding, you should be in Zanzibar, brother. You should be in Zanzibar. You should be in Mauritius. You are watching. You're sitting on a live of a guy who hasn't made 6 figures in his whole life. You are sitting on a live of a guy who makes less money in 31 videos than what Alex G makes in one video. You should be out there. You should actually teach me. You should teach me. I want you to teach me. I want my trading to explode also. I think that scammers live a better life than I do is gonna come to an end. I want you to teach me, master. Kayvon, how's it doing, my brother? Fly for an El Clasico, it will be. Yeah, so the idea is obviously, you know, somewhere around March, I want to start saving. Yeah, I have to save, you know, and you have to see how. You have to book the cheapest flight, cheap hotel, you know, all of that stuff. Thank you, thank you. Transparency from your side is vital. Let me know when you start the course. Trust me, I will get students. No problem. Do you drink alcohol or do you smoke? I do not drink alcohol and I do not smoke. His logo, God willing. Teach me, master. Fine, DM me. I'm gonna DM you. No problem. Fadzane will maybe had me, bro. I'm just joking. I must say that I'm heartbroken to know that you will not be providing signals anymore. I was really looking forward to that. So the reason why I don't provide signal services is for the same reason other people should not be providing signal services. Do you do one-on-ones? I do not do one-on-ones, my brother. I'm planning on putting something together next year. I just need to see what it is. And I said that last year also. I said that the year before. I said that the year before that year. And I'm really trying to get there. Really. I sent the PDF now. If you don't get time, look through. And you can give me feedback. It's like I said. Just don't email me again and ask me any update. Just wait for me to reply. Right? Just wait until I reply to you. You understand? I will go through it when I have time, and then I will reply to it. Because people will just email you the next day. Yo, bro, anything yet? Do you have anything yet there for me? I need to start saving for FIFA World Cup next year. That's nice. I wanted to ask, is that possible, though, to flip an account to a 6-figure account, almost like the exact, but doing another with a real account? So the thing is like this, right? I'm not saying, right? I don't want people to say like FX LXG, because LXG is not doing it. He's not flipping the account. I do not believe that he's got the capability. He has the ability of doing it. And I'll tell you why I say so. The reason why I do not believe Alex is the biggest salesperson that you can find. Right? He's the best salesperson. I have watched most of his videos. I have watched it. And I'm going to give him the credit that his course, I have the course, I've purchased the course. The course relies a lot on market structure, right? And then obviously price action, because it's, price action is created to structure, but it relies heavily on market structure. Now, here's the thing. Alex G is the best salesperson you can find. If you go through Alex G's YouTube channel, you will see that all of his videos is related to how to flip all of these accounts, right? How I made this, how I made that, how I made this, and how I made that, and how I made this, how I made that, how I made that. However, if you go and look for research revolving around Alex G and people who has attained any success from him, there is nobody who has made it, who has purchased that course, who can come forward. The thing is like this, no, I have it, right? When Alex G, and I'm in the Discord, when Alex G was doing that signal that he sent on Telegram, no? I don't know if you guys remember, Alex G once said he was going to send people 10 signals through Telegram. He sent 10 signals in Telegram. All 10 was wrong. All of it. They were all 100% wrong. Now ask yourself this question. Why is it when Alex G does something behind closed doors, it's always a success? When he do it for himself, and he's just like there, and he needs to do it for himself, then he's a success. But the minute he will say something with you, or with me, or with the group, or the audience, then all of a sudden is now, you see, the market didn't follow the market didn't follow this, or the market didn't follow that, or the market didn't follow this. So the only way I'm going to believe him is he must take me. Tell him to take me. Ask him to take me. Say he must come and select me. and we will do it, and we will say the investor password to the entire YouTube community. Then we can see. Ask him if he can do that. I will believe him. Ask him to send us the investor password the next time he's trying to flip something into something. That's all. So when people tell me, do you think Alex G is really making that money? Then I say that there isn't enough evidence that suggests that Alex G has the ability to flip. How do you flip 100 into a million and you're still on YouTube? If you have, think of it like this, if you have the ability to flip 100 into a million, then you have the ability to flip a million into a trillion. And if you can flip a million into a trillion, then surely you can flip a trillion into a gazillion. And if you can do that, then you can take a gazillion and you can flip it into a million, while a million quadrillion. And there would be no reason for Alex G to sell a course on every video that he does. There's no reason for Alex G to make YouTube videos. There's no reason for Alex G to make all of these things. But people are very gullible and they believe everything that comes out of his mouth. The only way I'm going to believe him is that the next time he says he's going to do a challenge, don't select your cousin and say that people is now, the G kid is now. No, let's leave all of that. Give us the investor's password. Let's follow the trades with you. Because now you're going to tell us that you've taken a trade that we didn't see. And remember, there's a thing called a back end, right? Like a back end where you can change prices. I posted it on my Instagram, where you can change prices of where you've entered the market. So when he does a weekly market breakdown and the market goes against him, then he didn't take the trade. If the market goes into profit for him, then all of a sudden he was able to get into that trade at the perfect entry. And every time he makes it to sell something, every time there's always a sales pitch at the end of the video. You understand? So that's all. I say that I do not believe that guy for 1 second, because I have had first-hand experience with him. First-hand experience. I have had experience with people that was closely related to him also. People have exposed him for manipulating and trying to lie, but you are always going to get people who is going to believe it. Remember, we live in a society where people don't believe what's right or wrong anymore. They believe people they like. Whether he's telling the truth or not, it's inevitable. People are still going to pay him. He still makes money every day selling these things that he does, for that ridiculous price that it is going at. So I say that if LXG really wants to prove a point, him, the FX Goats, Jason Noah, everybody that's trying to prove a point, then surely I have even offered to give these guys accounts to trade with. Bandile, Nasdaq Ninja, Andy the Goat, all these guys. I said, I can give you all accounts. I will take the investor's password, I will give it to people, you can give it to your people, and tell them if you successfully trade this account, they need to sign up to your signals, they need to sign up to your mentorship services. But it's just my suggestion. But I don't think it's real. I'm very sorry. I believe that you can make money, a lot of money, but I do not believe the way he's doing it, a mil in a month, from $100 in a month. Sierra. Brother said cheapest flight for us, we can't even get the Uber. Other and great channel have been looking here from the 2K subs. Shot, bro, appreciate it. Away, now not like that. Yeah, but next year, zoals jaar, leer, yes, my guy. Alex G, aka Mr. Eden, shoulders. Most traders do selling, but they can't trade themselves. Exactly. People who rely heavily on sales. Middag, meneer, middag. I have a question. I am very impatient and I struggle to wait for a setup. Like, how do I get myself to sit on my hands and wait for a setup? Yo, I must say, I interpreted that Afrikaans sentence very good. You know, I think I must be Google Translate. So there's a book. It's called The Mental Game of Trading, right? There's a guy called Trading Up on Telegram. Search him on Instagram. Go into his Telegram group and search for that book. You can download it there. I'm not gonna say, but you can get it there. I was taking signals from a guy so-called trader, but all his signals were wrong. Not even. Balik, email, balik, yeah. So on this one, on that point, right? It is like the same point that I made earlier. When the guy said to me, he said, he looked like, he looked like he can trade, and I knew people don't look like they can trade. Do you know how people are judged on TikTok for sitting in a room with a laptop, trying to provide free education for people on there? Do you know how people have you ever been on a TikTok live where a guy is literally sitting in a small little room with his laptop and he's doing a breakdown and he's answering people's questions in the live chat, and people will tell him, you can't trade. We don't think you know anything about trading. We don't know you. It doesn't look like you can trade. But you will believe Alex Jeep can trade because he can sell you cars, and because that is why I say people believe him because of the lifestyle he lives, and people buy into that lifestyle thinking they're gonna also get all of that cars and all of that lifestyle. I'm telling you today that there is that he must just do the right thing. He has made a lot of money. That's all I can say. I would also be selling courses at 25,000 Rand for one if people were buying it the way people are buying is you buy, but you don't get a Lambo. Following up on that, do you think, for example, you have a 10K and flip that to 2 mil? That's another question. You must probably get a good broker that is willing to pay out all of that money. And also depending on what broker it is. Some broker could plug you in directly to the exchange. Others put you on a B book because is it a B book? I think so. So they can take your entire 10K for themselves when you lose it. But you get good brokers. You could possibly do that attempt on. My brother, have you heard about ICC by SCI? He charges anything. He doesn't charge. Got profitable learning through Alex. So you, I can show you. I am also from now. I'm not talking about people. Remember, I used to follow Transparent FX before I paid for his course, 15,000 way back in the days, right? When I say that, the question was, can you flip, the small amount like the way he flips it? No, you can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. To be profitable and to make serious money the way he's showing you becomes a different question. He's trying to show people that you can live this type of life through what it is that he's selling. Now, I'm 100% sure that if you were making the type of money that he did, I wouldn't be on this YouTube channel and you would not be where you are today. We would both be in Camsway. You understand? The image that he's portraying on social media, it doesn't reflect the reality of what's going in there. Do you understand what I'm saying? The reason why I'm not in Camps Bay after paying him 25,000 for the set and forget is because there's no way for me to make that type of money. If he was really that perfect in what he does, he would have been, the White House would have employed him long time ago. Big banks, institutions, they would have went for him long time ago. He would have been on the Forbes list long time ago. He would have been, if you go and Google who is the richest trader in the world, his name would have come up there. You know, who's the richest? But I'm telling you, he said on an interview with CoffeeZilla that he has made over 4.6 million US dollars in sales selling courses. Now, 4.6 million dollars in rands is 78 million rand. Now, if you're from South Africa and you get 78 million, tell me, wouldn't your life look like ease? People think trading is easy. It's easier to convince people trading is easy than trading is easy. You know, easier. Easy. In any case, guys, I'm gonna shoot now. I'm getting very hungry now. I need to eat. Because I am running out of energy. B book and A book, yes. Now let's talk about these South African traders living in Dubai. You see, how's it, Rolio? Broker recommendations, HFM. HFM is a broker I would recommend. B book and A book, yeah. The B book is that scamming, yes. What do you think about you see trade banks, Q banks, FXLXG, what is the snake guy, FX Mamba FX. Those guys, they are the DJ Coates, Lesiba, Ref Wayne of South Africa. They are the Prince FX of Namibia. Every country has got their top levels. Every country has got them. When you talk about, if you ask anybody who's the top traders in South Africa, they're gonna tell you Jason Noah, Lesiba, Ref Wayne, DJ Coates, because these are well-known names. Who's the best trader in America? FXLXG, FX Mamba, Q Banks. Every country has got that front line of people that will always stand there and be known to the public for being the best traders in their country, but known to the consumers as the worst traders or scammers. That is why if you read interviews on podcasts with traders, just go watch the interview on Podcast and Chill. Is it Podcast and Chill with that two guys? Where they did a podcast with Ref Wayne and Lesiba. To the top trader, to the Podcast and Chill people, these are the top traders in South Africa, right? That is why they're on a platform like that, right? Because you can't get there. It's not easy to get there. But you read the comments. You understand what the media shows you and the reality of the consumer experience, it doesn't align. But this is how things are in South Africa, you know. But in any case, guys, I really have to go now. I still have to make that video. I'm gonna speak to you guys again. If trade with Santel legit though, go on Google, can go and see. You will find out if you can trust any South African trader. Guys, I'm gonna shoot now. Thank you for your time, and as always, cheers for ears.